There's a top Republican senator now demanding answers from the FBI director after not being briefed on their Benghazi investigation for the last 6 months. 4 Americans died in the assault on the U.S. consulate, including our ambassador, Chris Stevens. Now, Senator Susan Collins says she wants some simple questions answered. Quote, are any of the suspects believed to be responsible for the deaths of these 4 Americans, including Ambassador Stevens, in U.S. or Libyan custody? How many suspects in the attacks are still at large? A few other questions after that. Virginia Republican Congressman Frank Wolf has been fighting for answers in Benghazi, and he is our guest now. Sir, good morning and welcome back.
Good morning. Good morning.
I would imagine that those questions are the same ones that have been elusive for you, sir.
They are. They're good questions. The answer is there's been somebody picked up in Egypt. They will not allow the FBI to interview them. We have given the Egyptian government $250 million 2 weeks ago, and they have a suspect in custody, and they won't allow us to talk to them. There was somebody picked up in Tunisia. He's been released. We give the Tunisian $320 million a year. There have been no federal employees given a protection to come in. No one's been subpoenaed. No one has been talked to the people. There's still an individual out of Bethesda who was wounded 6 months after, still going through rehabilitation.
Sir, stop for just a moment here and give us rationale for why this is happening. Why are these answers so elusive still?
You know, personally, I think there's an effort by the administration to cover this up. And I think the only way you're going to get to the bottom of it now is to have a select committee whereby they have subpoena authority. It can be bipartisan. You know, you would have never found out what took place in Watergate if you had not had a select committee to look at this. It's been 6 months. You can see the administration is not cooperating. Secretary Clinton, did she even go out and visit the wounded out of Bethesda? And you need subpoena power, really, to protect the federal employees. Their careers are on the line. If you're 50 years old, you don't want to get across the breakers with your boss and lose your job when maybe you have kids in college, you have a mortgage. So you're going to have a select committee. You're going to have to subpoena them. This can all be done in private, but you need public hearings. Otherwise, the American people will never know.
Let me cut right to this now. You mentioned cover-up. What are they trying to cover up?
Well, I think that's what the select committee would find out. What happened that day? Why did it take so long? Why are we not interviewing? Why did Secretary Clinton, when she talked about the 4 people who were heroes who died, why did she not mention those who were wounded? We have an obligation to them. We should honor them. We should thank them. There are more questions out here than there are answers to.
Another question for you then. The House committee has subpoena power, right?
It does.
Then why has it not moved on this?
Well, you'd have to ask the chairman of those. That's why I want a select committee, taking people from judiciary, foreign affairs, intel, armed services, to give them subpoena power. One committee, one council, one chairman to ask these tough questions. But I don't know why they haven't been subpoenaed.
Here's another question.
They should have been.
Yeah, sure. Apparently there were 33 American survivors that were working in Benghazi at the time of the attack on behalf of either the State Department or the CIA. Why is there no access to these people?
That's why we need a select committee to subpoena them and give them the protection to bring them in and allow them, either publicly or privately, to testify. And I think they're hiding them. And I think, quite frankly, many of these employees are afraid to come in and testify.
Here's another question from Senator Collins. Have any of the suspects believed to be responsible for the deaths been otherwise captured or held under the existing authority afforded the American government and the war against al-Qaeda and its affiliates? I think that goes to your first point about an arrest in Tunisia and an arrest in Egypt that apparently have gone nowhere.
The FBI was on the ground in Tunisia for 5 weeks, and they would not have let the FBI team talk to them. They then came back. They let them talk to them for 3 hours. They released them, and I bet they can't even find the guy. There was a guy in Egypt. I was in Egypt 3 weeks ago. I gave a letter to the Egyptian government asking President Morsi to allow the FBI to come in and interview the person they have in custody in Egypt, and to look at the information. The Egyptian government will not allow the FBI to talk to them.
Sir, thank you for your time. Frank Wolf has been on this for some time, and we'll see whether or not there's a move next time by the House in subpoenas. Frank Wolf, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Martha, what's next?
Well, you know, we've been hearing